So in time of retreat and occasion for meditative, contemplative deepening, the Thai phrase is vivek, go vivek, which is the Thai version of the Pali word viveka, which means to disengage, to withdraw from surface things, superficial things, circumstantial, and to just draw back to the roots of experience. And this can be it's progressive. First of all, we disengage from unskillful contact, and there can be an increasing capacity to skillfully disengage. Doesn't mean, being absent-minded or inattentive. It means withdrawing to the roots of experience. So you're really following experience and still with experience, but from the outer manifestations of it, speech, action, sense contact, you're tracing it back to the roots of where experience arises. In the heart, in citta. So I'll roughly translate citta as heart. That's not the most adequate, but it's probably better than most terms. Let's withdraw to the roots, to where experience starts, where it touches, where it starts to happen. Where the sense of I am occurs. I am feeling, I am being this. That's the roots of experience. Of course, most of our lives we spend not going to the roots, but acting upon that. I am, I want, I don't want, I wish, I feel, and moving out. And naturally that movement out has to occur, but meditation, you're turning back to the roots, so the way we act is then refreshed by resetting to healthy roots, not chaotic roots or starved roots or depleted roots or erratic. Action can then proceed from a healthier basis and withdraw back to that basis in citta. Things arise. And if it's deepened and cultivated, you can even withdraw through citta from heart to just awareness. There's no this resonant feeling, activation experience. It's just an open, peaceful. And so there's a graduated process of that. Viveka, viraga, nirodha, bodhisakha. Disengagement, dispassion, ceasing, relinquishment. But as we begin retreat, we begin our session, just skillfully, how do you skillfully withdraw? What do you put aside? And why? The idea is you put aside in order to be more receptive, to emphasize, to accentuate the receptive aspect. And listen deeply, take our time, linger, savour, check things out. Receptive. The active is moderators. Responsive action, steady, checking, inquiring, lingering, subtle actions, pausing, going deeper, reflecting, subtle actions. As always, but the what has to be emphasised is the receptive, because in everyday life, often receptive is crammed, and so receptivity diminishes because of just the amount of data that's coming in, and the speed with which a reaction and response is required. Again, a very fast turnover. Meditation, it's a slower turnover. data is moderated, sense contact is moderated, speech is moderated, bodily movement is moderated. It's not rigid, not frozen, not completely locked down with doings. And I would say the habitual reaction to even habitual energies, which, say, in daily life, even in a monastery, and with certain speed to get things moving, get things operating. And certainly outside the monastery, that can be so intense. The speed or the irregularity, speed, slam, stop, crash, slump, that the mind is, energies are very discordant. And turning back to the receptive, skimming away what's not needed. How do you know what's not needed? Well, you keep this yourself as a process. Got some guidelines, simplicity, that which is complex, just put it aside. That which is abstract, future, past, opinions, views, notions, put it aside, abstract. Because you want to get to as direct experience as possible. Reductions of actions and reactions as immediate arising directly. And this level is where the language gets, this language is very clear. Got various maps, the aggregates, the sense bases, which are really close-up maps of how experience happens. And in order to get to use those maps, you've got to clear away all the stuff that gets placed on top of it. So essentially you're clearing away that which obscures and can be cleared away. So we come to our internal world, memories, hopes, worries, concerns. Some of it will just can be gently eased off, because the closer you get to the heart, the more deeply embedded those experiences are. And some of it you just have to, okay, that's not just going to be washed away, I have to look at that, contemplate that. So you investigate. What you can't clear, you investigate. What you can't release, you investigate. And we also clear away certain amounts of input so that we can have other forms of input. We've got room to pick up wise reflection, time to ponder the life of the Buddha, the example of the Buddha. So that becomes like an internal image. What that means to you: clear, straightforward, noble, compassionate, kind, deeply centered. Whatever that means, the image, the meaning in the image, something there you can turn to and contemplate. And devotion arises, and inspiration arises, and encouragement arises. You internalize Buddha, awakened in a human form. So many unfortunate examples of human behaviour. It's really helpful that to clear some of that, the corrupt, the foolish, the violent, with a human example, the warm, kindly, be clear, be straightforward, be reliable. Place that. This is where I want to be. This is the kind of company I want to keep. Put that there so it begins to shine and replaces the unfortunate images that we tend to pick up from media and in our own history. And this is our practice is devotional. We are, saluting, making salutations to the Buddha, the Triple Gem, and you can, it's something to cultivate. It's not just a piece of tinsel wrapped around meditation. It is an energizing of the heart. The heart is often depleted through worries and doubts and depression, anxieties and stress. Turn to something that will enrich and feel, something you can lean on, something you can rest in. And this is skillful addition, skillful taking in, receiving in. But as you can bear in mind, you have to work at it because Buddha doesn't jump in your face. It's not powerfully stimulating or outrageous, it's just steady. And turn to that. This is an example of both an example of an object that is accessible, but you have to listen into it. And so it asks you to be more deeply awake, attentive. So as you listen in, you become more attentive. The image of Buddha lightens up, in a sense in which you'll begin to take on the qualities of Buddha. You become awakened, brighter, clearer, straighter. This is what devotional practice is about. It's not sentimental. This has been going on in monasteries for thousands of years. People spend a considerable amount of time chanting, prostrating to Buddha images. Not because they're stupid, or they're doing something which is unifying their own heart energy with that of Buddha, that of Buddha. Don't want to personify it. It means there's a certain energy there that rises up above circumstance, and you feel it, and it invigorates. It does have an invigorating effect. Because as you get to the roots of the mind, you realise whatever is experienced, the mind is energised by, for good or for bad. It tingles, it shimmers, it jumps, it shrinks, it's impulsive, it agitates. But with these, like Buddha, you're connecting to something where the energy of the mind is lifted, straightened, held bright. Amodja, gladness, piti, uplift, refreshment, rapture, sukha, ease. These are definitely heart energies which have agreeable feeling associated with them. Of course, there are many objects of reflection, but considering the amount of Buddha images we have around us, and the number of times we bow to this, prostrate to it, chant to it, it's sitting right there. Everybody's room's got one. As I was saying, you had this sad case of a person with unfortunate perverted tendencies, whose property we just inherited. He was his act of Dhamma was to give his property, but he had a very confused and criminal mind. Or person couldn't sustain it. But I think even in that, it's a very good image of, the power and the significance of this image. I'm not just talking about a material image, but an immaterial image. And what awakening, enlightenment signifies. And feels like, or what it, maybe don't know what it, can't say I really know what it feels like, but I know what the path to it feels like. It feels bright, it feels open, it feels warm and gladdened. Kalyana in the beginning, it's beautiful in the beginning, uplifting in the beginning. Kalyana in the middle, beautiful in the middle, uplifting in the middle, good in the middle. Kalyana in the end. This is the way the Dhamma is experienced. So there's that same characteristic. Kalyana, the light, the bright, the uplifting, the good, the noble. And this is Buddha is our keynote on that one. So if we cultivate that keynote in the heart, then we become Kalyana Mitta, spiritual friends or noble company. Not just about people you get on with, or this is what our training is about. We try to see that in ourselves and each other, see it in yourself. Are you a Kalyana Mitta to yourself? Do you live in accordance with the resonance of what you're feeling for awakening is about? Do you turn to it, respect it, rather than go to all the rest of the rubbish in the house, the clutter, the rubbish, the chaos, like in this fellow's house? Do you go to the rubbish and the chaos in your mind, or do you go to the shrine? You go to the shrine, you keep going there, the rubbish is gradually going to drift out, clear out, clear out, clear out, clear out, clear out, because you're not putting energy into it. And unlike a material house, we have to get triple people down there with a truck to move the stuff. The immaterial house, you don't need anybody. You just put Buddha there, stay with that, and all of the bojjhanga, the factors, the limbs that stream from the Buddha, the facets and the faculties that stream from the Buddha, basically energize those. The other stuff just withers. Why am I bothering with that for? This is beneath me. So forget about that. Or we investigate it. Why is this still here? Why is this thing here? What's the meaning of it? What's it asking of me? And so our practice is receptive, it's active, it's inquiring. But all those hinge upon the central reference point that we need to approach. So just as you approach the Buddha, you should approach the retreat in that same manner. Try to approach your daily meditation as if you're going to meet Buddha. Because in some sense, things come in, it's just, okay, shrine, look at that, okay, what's not needed. Carry it through more clearly, your own body. What kind of supports it? Exercise, proper exercise of the body. Walking, sitting, stretching, breathing, or ventilates the body. So you can see Anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, not as a kind of concentration practice, and it does have a concentrating effect, this is a cleansing practice. This simple gift takes the stress out. The Buddha said, with this practice, my eyes don't feel tired. It takes the stress out of the body. It's the stress of impact. So you can even focus on the energy of breathing and bring it up to awareness around your face, your eyes, your head. It helps to relieve things like headaches and tension and stress. But really this, remember, it's a very subtle form of process whereby we don't do it so much as encourage awareness to move in those directions. Just a suffusion, pervasion is the movement of awareness. As from what the movement of heart. It's generally like something like a sponge being saturated with water. It just filters through. So it's not slap it out, knock it out, get rid of this, push that away. It's gently allowing your awareness to become heartful, full of these, or enriched by Buddha qualities. So you be careful in meditation. You don't make meditation use the kind of actions that you do when you are using your hands or your speech. So do this, do that. It's not quite like that. The keynote of it, and then listening, how is that? You don't necessarily get an answer. But you keep that. And after a while you begin to sense, you don't get an immediate answer. You feel some stress or agitation. Because with that degree of receptivity, you're sinking past the verbal stories into energies in the heart where it's tight, stressed or fluttering. How's that? Now if you put too hard, what occurs is you just meet the harder aspects, which is the thoughts, psychologies. If you touch softly, you meet the softer aspects, which are underlying it. So it's very much how you meditate will affect what arises. If you meditate with a hard mind, you'll meet the hard stuff. And hard stuff is often more superficial, actually. It's the stories, it's the self-images of what I am and what I'm not, what I could be, should be. And it's a verbal and emotional web. Okay, you don't take an issue with that. You listen quietly underneath that, knocking something out, letting awareness seep, and suffuse. You're not getting clear answers. Keep doing it again. So this is vitaka. Come back again. Touch it again. Again. Just lightly touching. How's that? Okay. How is it in your body? It's because this is really where you use the body in the most skillful way. Whereas the mind can be ducking, weaving, confused, clouded. The body is always tells the truth. It's always very direct. So you start with sensations in the body as an exercise in how to sustain vitaka vichara. placing thought, placing attention, and listening. And you start with the whole body, body's in entirety. Must be borne in mind, there's no evidence in the sutras that the Buddha ever recommended analysis. We tend to assume it because we assume attention is rather like a visual attention, which is always sharpening down to a point. But when you're attending to a body, you use body attention. And body attention is the whole body. And then when you walk, it's not feet that walk, it's the whole body walks. Your awareness is over the whole body. It's wet or cold, it's sunny, or it's whatever it is, your whole body is aware of that. When you're walking along, every part of the body is somehow affected by that. So you have the sense of the entire body as an entity, and it's picking up various shifts and sensations. And when it's sitting down over the whole body, it tends to exercise unlocking from particular painful pieces that you get stuck in this obsessive way. It digs in obsessively, it brings up its obsessions. How you act, when you get to that point where things go quiet, what you experience is the sense of trying very hard to get to the place where things go quiet. It's very direct. It's, when you look at it, it's actually completely clear. The way you act is going to affect what you act. And if your process is much more spacious and open, what you get is spaciousness and openness. It's instant calming, you could say. There's anything spacious, open, whole body, no particular pressure. How's that? Maybe you don't find it very convincing or exciting or getting anywhere, but just start to relax some of those attitudes. And maybe this thing could work by itself without me getting in there and doing it. Without me deciding what I'm going to get to and how I'm going to practice. It's just opening up, receptive to the entire body. How is that? How does it feel? As an entirety. Sorry. Qualities of disagreeable, agreeable. What's the energy like? Steady. Release potential. And so we want to be aware of both the places where we're feeling somewhat unbalanced or agitated, and then connect those to the places where you're not feeling that way. And they will drain the discordant energies and the body will come into balance. When the energies of the body are imbalanced, the energies of the heart start to get entrained by that. So we follow that same quality. Because at the roots of experience, energies of the body, energies of the heart, energies of the mind come together, merge, and this is called samadhi, collecting, consolidation. And it's not an intense, pressurized concentration, it's a skillful result of viveka, withdrawing, of gladdening, of settling, of simplifying, of attending to the whole thing, and letting the process work itself out. Let the process work itself out. Stop doing it. Have a devotional mind which offers, listens, follows,